She is panicking because you succeeded. She is panicking because she finally discovered the one truth that she was never prepared to face. Your success was never built on his money, not even close. For months, for years, she built an entire story around the idea that someone else had opened the door for you. She convinced herself that your confidence came from another man's influence, that your opportunities were purchased, and that your sudden rise was borrowed power. It made your success easier for her to understand, easier to dismiss. But now she knows she was wrong. And the terrifying part is that you never confronted her. You simply watched. You let her believe the version of you that made her comfortable. You listened when she whispered that you were lucky. You stayed silent when she suggested someone had financed your dreams. You did not even defend yourself when she assumed the connections, the achievements, the lifestyle, and the confidence that all of this belonged partly to somebody else. You understood something that she didn't. People reveal themselves when they think that they know your weakness. So you allowed her to keep looking in the wrong direction. Now she has discovered the truth, and suddenly every conversation you ever had with her sounds different in her memory. She remembers the nights you disappeared to work while everyone was celebrating. She remembers the opportunities that you turned down because they did not align with your long-term plans. She equally remembers how you kept learning when nobody was watching. Your discipline, your patience, your strange refusal to panic when things went wrong. At the time, she thought that things were meaningless. All those things you were doing, she thought they were meaningless because she believed that there was always someone behind you quietly paying the price for your victories. There wasn't. It was you. Every setback belonged to you. Every sleepless night belonged to you. Every rejection, humiliation, every moment when you had to pretend you were not afraid belonged to you. The memory she thought explained everything was never the source of your power. It was merely one small consequence of something much deeper. You had become dangerous without needing anyone's permission. And that realization is what frightens her. Because if your success came from another person, she could tell herself that eventually you would lose access to that person and return to being ordinary. She could wait, she could watch, she could even secretly hope circumstances would humble you. But now she understands that there is nothing external holding you together. You are the engine. Take away the money and you would rebuild. Take away the connections and you would create new ones. Even take away the opportunity and you would manufacture another one. That is why she cannot sleep peacefully anymore. She is beginning to understand that she misjudged you at the exact moment she thought she understood you. Somewhere inside of her, a question is becoming unbearable. What if you knew she never believed you? What if you remember every dismissive look, every sarcastic comment, every time she treated your ambition like an amusing phase? What if you noticed every moment she stood close to your success while secretly believing that it belonged to somebody else? You probably did. That is the part that makes her hands tremble, because now she realizes that your silence was not ignorance, it was observation. You were watching who celebrated you before the results arrived. You were watching who respected you when you had nothing to show. You were watching who treated you differently depending on whether they believed you had power. And while she thought she was studying your circumstances, you were studying your character. Now, your success has become evidence. Not evidence that you were lucky, evidence that she was wrong. And there is something psychologically devastating about discovering that the person you underestimated was never waiting for permission to become extraordinary. She may try to come close now. She may suddenly remember your worth. She may become curious about your plans, your future, your next move, or even try to rewrite the past, insisting she always believed in you. But you will hear fear from beneath her words, because she knows something you have not said aloud. You no longer need to convince her. That is why she is panicking. Not because you have more money, not because life looks better, or that you finally reached the place she once thought belonged to someone else. She is panicking because your success proved something far more frightening. You were never carried. You were never rescued. You did not depend. You built yourself. And now she is standing outside a door she once assumed would always remain open, realizing that the person she underestimated has already walked through. The prophecy was never that you would become successful. It was that one day, everyone who misunderstood your struggle would be forced to witness the strength it created. The day has arrived and she can feel it. You don't have to announce it. You don't even have to confront her. You don't have to explain a single thing. Your silence is enough. Because somewhere in the quiet, she finally understands the truth you knew long before she did. You were never becoming powerful because someone gave you the world. You were becoming powerful because even when the world gave you nothing, you kept building what you were building.